Okay, lay it out.
Let's get into it. This is Alan Elliott's. This is a 69 or 70 C10. You can tell because of the grill, and we didn't change the front sheet metal. We did put a new grill on it. But let's wrap this thing up. Let's go over it, let's talk about it, and let's get the views up because the last couple shop updates haven't been as good. So we're gonna remember to take like a killer thumbnail of this truck. The camera guy, the good one in the shadow is going to do a better job at filming this and editing this, and this is going to be like the third best video ever that we've done, maybe fourth.
I'm still in the shadow.
Anyway, let's get into it. This is Alan's C10, obviously patinaed, and the fun story about Alan is he bought this truck years and years ago, and it was really badly rusted. Brought it to us, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, and we basically rebuilt the bed for him. So it was lowered, had transports on it. I think it had an LS of some sorts in it. But the bed was like falling off the truck. So we basically built a quick little false floor, put a new wood bed kit in it. And the fun part about him is he's like, yeah, one day I'll be able to afford to have you just build the whole way. So here we are, one day arrived. Let's go over the outside first. So everything from this new trim line, the lower trim, which is new, but everything from there down on this truck is new. So front fender corners, rear fender corners, bottoms of the doors, rockers, cab corners, lower portion of the bed in front of and behind the wheel is all brand new sheet metal. This is the most extensive rust repair we've ever done. From the windshield gasket, inner and outer cowl, down the firewall, all the way back the floor. So this has a whole new floor in it, and then up the back wall about 6 to 10 inches is all brand new sheet metal. So we have faux tinaed it to look like nothing ever happened, and the trim line really helped that. You know, like it's not a perfect paint match, but we did the faux tinaing and made it look a little rusty and beat up and whatever, and the trim line breaks that up really good. So number one thing is this thing had a ton of sheet metal repair, rust repair, and then new trim. Emblems are original, door handles are original. This was his original locking gas cap, and it doesn't lock anymore because it's panel bonded in the metal. So that's basically just a filler for that hole, so we don't have to weld up the hole and faux tina that. New mirrors, all new LED United Pacific lights all the way around, headlights, turn signals, markers, new bumper, new grille. The whole piece of the grille is new. So outer shell, inner shell, headlight bezels, everything's all brand new. Original emblem. New wipers, all new precision replacement products, gaskets, seals for the glass, some of the glass. These are reproduction vent windows that we put in, and then he wanted all the chrome trim also. So new windshield, back glass, all put in by State 48. Moving down, let's go, where should we go next? Chassis? It's a Rev B chassis. We've been using a lot of them lately. They ride really nice, they lift a ton. Sway bars, Big Bear brakes, 14-inch 6Ps, or 6 pistons, but it's their 6P kit, Pro Plus kit. We have 22 8.5 and 22 12 shots. These are an EXL series, so exposed lug nut. 335 25 22 on the rear, 255 30 22 on the front. Out back, again, all new lights, LED markers. We opted for the clear, but it does have a red LED, so it does flash red. Sequential taillights, LED reverse lights, new bumper, new taillight trim, new tailgate trim. Of course, one of our latch kits, So opens and closes easy. We'll get into the bed next because we're done on the outside for the most part. The only thing to add on the outside is that when we did the rust repair and we started putting the whole truck back together, we cleaned everything with the gray Scotch-Brite pad and some sweet patina cleaner. And then when we had it all cleaned up and most of the texture from all the rust gone, we put the sweet patina sauce on it. So it's a wipe-on coating. Just mats it a little bit, so rather than being so flat, we get a little bit more of a matte finish. Gets a little towards the glossy side without being like a satin clear coat or satin or a gloss clear coat. I'm not big into the shiny patina. I think this kind of satin is perfect. So anyway, into the bed. All new bed wood that we had cut next door to us at Full Draw Carpentry. And then since Marquet is no longer around, and this is the first bed that we had to do, we actually had some leftover strips. So they were scratched up and beat up and whatever. So I asked Alan if he'd be cool with powder coating them. So we powder coated the strips the same color as the chassis, which we'll show you in a minute. The tubs are widened tubs. So we had to go wider than the wider tubs that you can buy. So you can see barely there's a weld line here. But again, we faux-tinaed these, made them look like they're original, even though everybody knows they're not. But we kind of made it just look the part. Let's go bed first. We normally go engine. Let's go bed first. So this has the LS Fab hinges. This was right before we came up with our billet hinges. We were doing this one. And then of course we have the dual linear actuators that are just simple push button. We'll push the button and the bed goes up. So the air systems have kind of gotten foolproof now. So, and looking in here, this is built the way we like to build them. You don't see a lot of wiring. You don't see a lot of air lines or fuel lines. We try to hide everything. You can see a little peak of some hard line coming out the side of the tank there. And then you can see our brake line running across. You can also see the polished 3-inch stainless, mandrel bent, TIG welded, the full shebang, 304 exhaust. That on this truck goes to a set of MagnaFlow mufflers just to keep it a little bit quieter. We use a really long MagnaFlow muffler. Mufflers are placed in the back since you're over there. You can see it. And then we just shoot the exhaust out the rear. Last thing we did in the bed is, again, we faux-tinaed this back panel and then we welded in a recess for some charge ports or jumper ports. Look how good that tailgate latch kit works. Come on, it's old patina truck. It still just shuts, other than the rattles, because it's still rusty, shuts like a brand new truck. Let's close that. And we'll move up front. Okay, before we open the hood, there's not a lot of paint left. It makes this truck very easy to drive. You don't have to worry about chips and stuff. And if you want to drive it in the rain, we have working windshield wipers. Odd. Under the hood, all nice and shiny. So the boys over at Eye Candy Paint Works did all the body work and paint on this after we shaved the firewall. This is what we would call like our factory looking firewall. So we basically mimic the driver's side on the passenger side with the radius. And then we kind of left some of the stuff alone other than just filling the holes. But you can see a lot of work goes into the firewall. Then we do the Heart Fabs. These are kind of our go-to. They work really well. They get the job done. They go in pretty easy, saves customers a ton of money. Like on Manny's truck, we built 100% everything underneath the hood. But this is a great way, save a couple bucks for the customers or yourself if you're building one. And still has a killer look. We'll change up the bead roll patterns from time to time. But the big piece of jewelry in the middle of the box here is a Don Hardy. This is what he calls a 550 horsepower LS3. So this is 376 cubic inch, and then just has a nice low range power camshaft in it. So what I always tell customers is the big difference between like the Chevy 525 and a Don Hardy 550, other than the fact that we can order it all complete and dynoed and ready to go, is that a Don Hardy, or like if we build you a 550, the power is made more on the low end. So driving around town, it's much nicer. The 525 from GM is still a great engine, but it's meant to be like a racing engine. So the power is higher in the RPMs. So both great engines. Give me the chance, or give me the option. I'm gonna choose the 550 horsepower version, whether we do it or whether we buy it from Don. Attached to this is Built Specialties pulley setup. Built our own intake. This is running a Holley 2-piece intake manifold. It's a little bit taller, a little bit more angle to it, so we had to get a little bit more creative. Not the intake we normally use, but still looks really good. I actually like it as compared to like the sheet metal intake that they do, because the sheet metal one sounds a little tingy. Like you can hear valve tick and injector click and all that stuff through the sheet metal, whereas this one's cast and you don't hear it as much. Radiator's been powder coated, and then Frank painted the top portion of it. Painted the hood latch, which is fun because they always get messed up. We're running AC on this, so we have AC compressor on the Built Specialties pulley setup, and then we have our Resto Mod AC condenser up front. No power brakes on this one, manual brakes. So we're running a Bear Remaster, some switch hood hinges that work really well. They want to throw the hood back, so there's no chance of this thing being blown down. So it wants to come up. Other than that, under the hood, just some random polished stuff. Obviously valve covers, intake manifold, intake, radiator tubes, steering shaft, and some Ultimate headers under there. And then as always, this thing's wired with the Modern Vintage Systems is who we like to use on pretty much every LS we do, unless it happens to be Holley. So this one is factory electronics, running an E38 computer, Modern Vintage engine harness, and then painless harness through the rest of the truck. And that's it. There's a hidden catch can underneath there because this thing has a big cam. Let's go inside. Ready? You need to adjust your camera or anything, camera guy? You want to give me like a little shake or up and down or something so I know, like, are we good? We can move on. You want me to shut this?
I need B-roll.
We'll do B-roll afterwards, dude. I gotta get back in the air conditioning. It's hot out here. Let's go to inside. We did rework these latches a little bit. Nothing major. Cleaned them up, sandblasted them, painted them, greased them. So they actually work pretty well now. But we left the factory on the inside, so it looks the part. Like these are, bottoms of the doors are new, rockers are new. Pillars, even a good portion of the pillars are new. But we kind of tried to make it look like it's always been there. But let's talk about the inside. First things first, seat belts, retro sound, or retro belt, which is the same as retro sound. So retro belts there, Snowden seat. We have always Dakota digital gauges. These are their RTX series, so they look kind of the factory original part. We did a 7-inch screen on the dash for your radio, which is always a big topic. We do like the retro sound radios. I had one in my last personal truck. If you have to have that classic look, then that's the way to go. But if you actually are planning on driving the truck around and doing some stuff with it, then it's nice to have navigation on the dash. So let's hop in here and tell you about the air conditioning, since it's so hot out here. So normally you'd have your factory AC here. We went with these Elevate knobs from Resto Mod. So if you want to adjust them, you can pop them up, push them down for a flat appearance. Cigarette lighter still works, keys still in the stock location. Built this valance. Steve built this valance. I should mention, Steve did all the interior in this, just like normal. We're housing the 4 Resto Mod AC vents in there. He didn't really want a center console. He's got a younger kid. So he wanted to be able to put his kid in the middle here. So we just did a very low profile center console. This has a charger built into it. And then you've got your AccuAir right there in the middle. Easy access, but you can still put somebody here and put their feet on either side. Glove box actually has a liner and holds stuff. It's not just a door for no reason. And it actually opens and closes. Steering wheel is just a basic unit, half wrap to match. Door panels are meant to look fairly original, but we always like to add the carpet down at the bottom. Just keeps you from kicking the door and scuffing up the door. Plus this one had some really cool holes for 6x9s behind there. So we got rid of those by covering them up rather than welding them up. What else? Headliner. It's always nice to wrap a headliner. One of his requests was this gun rack. So this was in the truck when he bought it. Didn't want to get rid of it. Yes, I know it's not centered. You can go ahead and comment in all the comments about how it's not centered and how it presses against the back of the seat. Go ahead and comment all that stuff. But this is where it was. This is what he wanted. We didn't add any new holes. Maybe like the stock of the gun will go over here and be longer. So either way, that's what he wanted. And we powder coated it to match the frame. New dash pad was built by Steve. I like this. This is not like what we've done in the past is the TMI one and rewrapped it. This is actually 100% custom. What I like about this is we do have our vents hidden for the defrost. And then we actually have a little tweeter up here too. So that's kind of concealing a tweeter and the defrost vent. For the rest of the stereo, we have Morels, the slim nanos in the kick panels. And then we have custom floor mats. And if you pop that seat forward, because there's only a recliner on that side, you'll see that we do have a little stereo in the back here. You gotta pull it some more though. So just a single, that's a JL13. I'm not a big stereo guy, I don't know what the hell they call them, JL13W something or others. And then a JL amp, 4 channel. So we have 1 channel to the front. Sorry, we have 2 channels to the front, 1 channel left, 1 channel right. Then we bridge the rear channels to go to the sub. Nothing crazy, but it's a small cab. So it gets the job done. What else? We've known Alan for a long time. We got to work on this truck a few years ago. It was funny back then because he said, you know, we're gonna build this truck all the way one day. And flash forward however many years, and here we are. Finished, completed, running, driving, good horsepower, nice ride, smooth ride, all new seals. It's like a brand new truck inside. I should mention that Frank and those guys also painted the dash after we did all our modifications. And then underneath the bed is bedline. We're just gonna go over random facts. Underneath the bed's bedline, you can see some splash shields in there. So when Brian does his B-roll, he can show you that. Underneath the heart fabs is all bedline, and the whole chassis is all detailed. So even though it looks like a patina truck on the outside, under the hood you saw is killer, inside super comfortable, and it rides awesome on a brand new Rev B chassis. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Right after this, I'm gonna walk back this way and then we're gonna flash. We're gonna go to rolling shots. So I hope you enjoy. Like, subscribe. Channel's kind of died down a little bit. We need you to help pick it up. See ya.